follow here, but I'll do my best. When you think of the word leadership, who do you think about? Who's that one person in your life, or it could be more than one, that has stood out to you as a leader, and when you hear the word leadership, you think about them? Name them off. Just shout it out.
My mom.
Dad? Dad? Who else? Come on, I know you know some more leaders than that. Jesus, all right.
I second the motion. Jesus Christ.
Sutton? Napoleon, okay.
President.
Frederick the Great of Prussia.
I've never heard of him before, but I like it. But the point is, there's all these different leaders out there and these different styles. And we're affected by them every day. And what you need to do is bring all the different concepts that you learn from the leaders that you interact with and make it your own. And it's all about taking these leadership styles and learning from them, but not trying to copy them, but really being yourself and allowing all this experience to make you a better leader in the long run. So one for you. So when I was told I was giving this briefing, the first thing I did was turn to my good friend Google, and I looked up define leadership, and I came up with some really weird definitions. Some of them really good, some of them really vague. Someone who leads is one of them. So I decided, what better way to do this than make up my own definition? So this is what I came up with, for better or for worse. Answering the call to take charge and guide a group of people in accomplishing a shared goal and becoming a better team. I thought it sounded kind of good, I don't know. But some things to note about this definition that I made up is that it's an action. It's not just a passive trait. Leadership isn't something that you just possess and is yours. It's not like the color of your hair. It's something that you do. It's something that you have to keep doing. Also, one person is in charge of the group and has to lead the group through their actions and through their decisions. You can rely on your team to support you and get ideas from them, and your peers as well. But in the end, if you're the leader of a group, you have to be able to make the tough decision, and you're the one in charge. And also, team building is central. You're only a leader if you have a team behind you. If no one's following you, you're just kind of wandering through the forest. So team building is really essential. So I came up with some key traits that I think every leader should possess, and a lot of them kind of echo what Cadet Lorson and Cadet Naaman said. But I think first and foremost, motivation, and it comes from the top. As a leader, you have to be the motivator. You can't expect your people to be excited about going to uninstall ISP stadium seats if you're not excited. So motivation is key, and it's got to come from within, like was said before. I think secondly, honesty, and this reverts back to the core value of integrity, but it's a little bit different. Honesty is not just, I will never tell a lie. Of course, you should never tell a lie. But there's more than that. It's you have to be honest with yourself, with your superiors, and with your subordinates. So when you're honest with yourself, it's looking in reflexively and thinking, what can I be doing better today, right now, that's going to help my team and help my friends out? And if you ask yourself that question every day in every circumstance, or maybe it's in class, I guarantee you're going to find some areas that you can really improve in. Secondly, with your superiors, if you're not telling the truth or being completely honest or over-promising or trying to deliver better news and look better, you're just going to end up hurting yourself, because if you're over-promising, your people aren't going to be able to deliver on your over-promises, and it's just going to hurt you in the end. So that's really important. Also with your subordinates, not sugarcoating the facts to them or pinning down tasks to them. How can they know what to do if you don't tell them the complete truth? Sometimes it's not fun to do. Like if they have a lot of stuff that has to be done, or it's a hard task, it can be difficult, but it's important. So some more key traits. Accountability is being able to toe the line. And even if it's your friend that you're working with, sometimes you have to say, hey, you're not meeting standards. This is unacceptable. You got to do it over again. It's not about coming down and yelling at them by any means. I think it gets confused with that. But accountability is just, again, being honest with them and trying to help build them up to help them be successful. Then next is visibility, and that's just about being out in front. You don't lead from an ivory tower. I've heard that. I'm sure you guys have heard that before. But you have to be able to walk the walk, be down in the trenches. Has anybody ever seen Undercover Boss? That's like my favorite show. I watch all the episodes. But it's really cool. I mean, you see like a CEO of Roto-Rooter. I watched it today, and he was cleaning the toilet. And I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting. You see this guy who's probably never done that before, but he's the CEO of Roto-Rooter. He's out there doing in the trenches. So there's a lot to be said for managing by walking around. And you also have to ask yourself, are you a leader when no one's watching? When you're just walking down the street, you think, okay, it's 5 o'clock, I can turn off the leadership switch, it's done. And the answer is, you have to be a leader all the time if you're going to be a leader at all, because you're always on parade. You never know who you're going to be interacting with, who's going to see you, and if you're not being yourself and continuing to try to be a leader, it's going to reflect on you. And finally, having heart. And this is just don't be a tin man. Take care of your people and treat them as you would want to be treated. It sounds really simple, but sometimes taking a look at yourself or just getting another perspective from who you're working with, it really allows you to reevaluate what you're doing. All right, so who is a leader? The answer is everybody. I know that sounds really cliche, but it doesn't take a title to be a leader. It's a mix of just having natural talent and a lot of hard work, and mostly it is hard work. It's not as much talent. I'm a big believer in having a hustle mentality. I sit in my classes, and a lot of times I'm not the smartest guy at all, but I like to think that you can make up for that and then some with a little bit of hustle. So the easiest way to be a leader, in my mind, is to do the best job that you can at what you're doing right now. So if you're working at Starbucks, make the best latte. If you're sitting in class, take the best notes. And adopt that mentality, and people are going to notice. And then also, everyone has a unique leadership style. This is kind of mentioned before, but it's called your personality. Don't try to fake it, and just go with your gut feeling, and it's usually right. There's a little quote there from Vince Lombardi: leaders aren't born, they're made, and they're made just like anything else through hard work. So, is there a perfect leader? While we have all these great examples all around us every day, the answer is no. There's not a perfect leader. There's always going to be room to improve. And don't let that keep you down. Take that as a challenge. See what areas in your life you can improve as a leader. And really, it takes a lot of repetition. It's not going to come overnight. You're not just going to read a book and become a leader. It helps to read a book about leadership, but no offense to your book, I'm sorry.
I agree.
But it takes just getting up there and doing it again and again and falling on your face. You can ask anybody. I've probably messed up more things in RTC and messed up paperwork and everything. But that's what it's all about. Don't be afraid to fail, because this is where we do it. Right here is here in RTC, and stepping out of that comfort zone. There's a lot to be said for that. Whether it's giving briefings, whether it's giving your all at PT, push yourself above and beyond. And so I challenge all you guys to do that. So in summary, I went over my definition of leadership, some of the key traits that I think every leader needs to focus on, who can be a leader, whether or not there's a perfect leader, and do you guys have any questions?